pour retrouver ma douce amie au mévoué. Oh là, là, et que la baleine, jolie baleinier, pique la baleine de naviguer. Oh, mille mers, j'ai navigué au mévoué. Oh là, la.
Hey everyone, we are on board the Pilgrim. It's a gaff rig ketch based out of Brixton, and we're at the Paimpol festival in France, and we have the great good fortune of being joined by one of the members of the legendary group Stormalong John. This is Jack and his daughter Hannah. So happy to have however long we have to chat before the sound check starts up again.
Really pleased
with us. Yeah. Can I come to Hannah first? Just because you made a really interesting observation about the whole TikTok craze and all of that, and nobody was mentioning Stormalong John, and yet such a legendary band. So could you just tell us a little bit about, your experience of Stormalong John and what they mean to you, and why you thought that people need to know?
Well, it's a shame when people can't find the source material of something, especially when there's a band that's been influential, that's people have picked up on the style and learned sea shanties through Stormalong John and things like that. And I thought it's a shame. It's just a shame that nobody could actually find any material for that. So I thought, let's maybe chat to some other members and get some information there. So yeah, I grew up, from a little girl. I don't know how young, from a baby, probably going to. Every summer holiday was a festival in either Brittany or Germany or Holland or somewhere, going down, down from Liverpool, driving down. And that's just what summer holidays were, obviously. So I would, as a little girl, once I was old enough to speak, I guess, you taught me some French.
Yes.
And I would sit.
Well, how else could you sell the CDs?
Yeah. So me and my brother Chris, who's 3 years older than me, we would sit on the edge of the stage. We had little t-shirts, Stormalong Hannah and Stormalong Chris. Adorable. I've got pictures, it's adorable. And we would sell the CDs. So we learned the lines of French we needed to say, one CD or tape, one cassette tape is, 5 francs and 2 is 7 francs. And then Mum would obviously help, and we would come and take the money and go back. We were backstage and wherever we just grew up around Paimpol and all sorts of other festivals.
The best sales team ever. I do recommend that you raise these children appropriately.
I think we'll take the recommendation. We've got 3 of our own little budding shanty people
very,
with us.
very well. Also, they did the actions to things like Paddy Layback, taking your back, all of which they worked out for themselves. So adorable.
Well done. We may take a little aside after, and you can teach our children the choreography.
They seemed like they were getting on very well.
And can you tell us a bit more about, Stormalong John? What was the inception of the group? Where did this come from?
Well, I first knew nothing about sea shanties at all. I started singing folk songs in folk clubs in Liverpool, and going to folk clubs. And shanties were just one of the songs that the people would sing. And I'll start off by giving my credits to where my influences started from. And it was Jim McGeehan and Johnny Collins.
Yes.
The album Captain's Bar.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Captain's Bar, yeah. And that's where I sort of learned a few. Also picked up from the Watersons and from Young Tradition as well. So, but that was just me enjoying folk music, traditional folk music, together with 2 other guys who I met up when I arrived in where I lived in Liverpool, in Notty Ash. Met them, and they were of a similar mind to sing unaccompanied traditional folk music. I did high harmonies, Harry did low ones, Arthur in the middle. They had been involved in various professional groups doing other music. So we started doing just traditional folk music around folk clubs, and it was in one folk club where it was just doing sing-arounds, nothing, no stages, no stars at all. In 1983, I think it would have been 1983, when Tony Davis, who is a member of the group called the Spinners, in which I know you've picked up on, came down to the Baltic Fleet, which is the pub, you know the Baltic Fleet?
Yeah, the Liverpool shanty scene.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a sing around in the Baltic Fleet there once a week, He went down there and said, "Hey, you guys who are all singing these songs," and most of us knew Tony one way or another. "Do you reckon you could put together a shanty group to perform at the festival, the International Garden Festival, which is taking place in Liverpool, 1984, which is the same time when the tall ships are going to be visiting as well. All sorts of entertainment's going to happen on stage. Would be great to have a group singing shanties." We all looked at each other and said, "Well, we also sing some shanties." So somebody starts it and everybody else joins in the chorus. Yeah, okay. So we got together, and there was about 11 or 12 of us at the time. I'm not sure we bothered to rehearse anything. I think we sort of got up. "What do you know?" "Okay, you start off, you go." And we'd all just roar on. So on stage, we just stood there and looked quite massive, impressive. There was a little bit of instrumentation there, so because Keith Price played fiddle, and somebody else played box as well, but mostly unaccompanied as well. And we just did a few of these concerts, 1984, bearing the name Stormalong John. There had previously been a group called Stormalong John in Liverpool, which had died a death sometime before, so we revived the name. There were a few members who had been in that previously, but it was just a new group called Stormalong John.
The prettiest sight that you could see.
Hey-ho, you most done.
Is that Eliza Lee all on my knee?
Oh, clear away the track and let the bull giant run. To me, hey, rig-a-jig and a low back cara. Hey-ho, you most done. Liza Lee all on my knee. Oh, clear away the track and let the bull giant run.
Oh, in Liverpool town them girls hang round.
Hey-ho, you most done.
And it's there me Eliza will be found.
Oh, clear away the track and let the bull giant run. To me, hey, rig-a-jig and a low back cara. Hey-ho, you most done. Liza Lee all on my knee. Oh, clear away the track and let the bull giant run.
When I come home from across the sea.
Hey-ho, you most done.
Oh, Eliza Lee, will you marry me?
Oh, clear away the track and let the bull giant run. To me, hey, rig-a-jig and a low back cara. Hey-ho, you most done. Liza Lee all on my knee. Oh, clear away the track and let the bull giant run.
And we did that. So that was 1984, and that's when we came together. We got invited to do a couple of things locally from there around the Maritime Museum at the Albert Dock, in the historic Albert Dock in Liverpool, which was great. And then we got invited to go and play other places. I think the first place that we got invited to go and play at was in Krakow, in Poland. And that was in 1986, I think, something like that. But the invite started to pour in after that around the country, around Europe, and we carried on from there.
I just have to interject with a quick question. What was it like singing in Krakow in 1986 before Solidarność, while it was still a communist country? What was that
Damn
experience
right,
like?
it was weird. Because there were armed guards everywhere. We got told stuff about Solidarność from some of our hosts there as well, and what you could say and what you couldn't say as well. There was stuff being written down and being passed to us in writing and saying, "Oh, we can tell you this." But and I said, "Oh, yeah, it's fine," and I hate it. And they said, "Well, it's not quite that bad, but we made some very good friends there." The weirdest thing about Poland, and I don't know some of the Polish groups here, I don't know any of these, I've known several. Cztery Refy was one, and Stare Dzwony was the main one then. But several incipient Polish groups, mainly singing English shanties at that time, but some making up their own shanties in Polish as well. Yeah. It was weird because Krakow, it's nowhere near a coastline. They had no reason. Why would they have any affinity with maritime songs at all? But they did. I liken it to how in the 50s and 60s in Britain that we had the skiffle movement.
Down the rock on the line, they keep the money good road. Well, the rock on the line is the road to ride. Yeah, the rock on the line, keep the money good road. And if you want to ride, you got to ride it like a fight. Get your ticket at the station on the rock on the line. Cats in the cover, but they don't see me. And rock on the line, they keep the money good good road. Well, the rock and the nine is the road to ride. Well, the rock and the nine is the mighty good road. And if you want to ride, you got to ride it like a fine. Get your ticket at the station on the rock and the nine. Hallelujah, I'm safe from sin. Here's the Lord coming for to see me again. Where'd he come in? And the rock and the nine is the mighty good road. Well, the rock and the nine is the road to ride. Rock and the nine is the mighty good road. And if you want to ride, you got to ride it like a fine. Get your ticket at the station on the rock and the nine. Rock and the nine, I see the mighty good road. Rock and the nine is the road to ride. Rock and the nine, see the mighty good road. And if you want to ride, you got to ride it like a fine. Get your ticket at the station on the rock and the nine.
We had all of these people.
Lonnie Donegan.
Lonnie Donegan, and we were all singing about working on the railroad and American songs like that. None of us really anywhere near America or a railroad for that matter.
It's almost like a romanticism.
Exactly, exactly. So with that, and, so what was it like? It was phenomenal because the concerts were in this great big theatre, and it was like a rock concert. I've got to say, it's the nearest thing, and they were all young people. So I have to say, you know, we're getting on a bit now, but a lot of the time it's older people who like Shanties. These were all young kids. They were really getting off on it, and the fact that it's the energy that really on the songs, as well as the romance behind the idea. But the energy, it's like rock and roll. So it was phenomenal. A key part that we would be coming onto this, because the star of the first and the second, and I think the third one that we went to then was Stan Hugill.
Right.
And I think that's the first time we met him.
So he was performing at that.
He
festival
was.
as well.
He was.
Okay.
So he was
Solo?
headlining.
Like on his own, or?
Well, exactly. The point was he
Okay.
needed a backing band.
Of course. Yeah.
And
Okay.
ta-da! Stormalong John got invited to. Could you guys, you know, such and such? We went, oh yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
So we were. I mean, we had actually seen Stan in some river festivals in Liverpool before that. So yeah, he invited us to do that, and then started the association we had.
Heave her up and away we'll go. Heave away, Santiano. Heave her up and away we'll go, all across the plains of Mexico.
In Mexico I long to be.
Heave away, Santiano.
With a tight-waisted girl all on each knee.
All across the plains of Mexico.
So we'll
Heave her up and away we'll go. Heave away, Santiano. Heave her up and away we'll go, all across the plains of Mexico.
Now when I was a young man in me prime,
Away, Santiano.
I chased these little girls 2 at a time.
All across the plains of Mexico.
So we'll
Heave her up and away we'll go. Heave away, Santiano. Heave her up and away we'll go, all across the plains of Mexico.
But now I'm old and I'm getting grey.
Away, Santiano.
Oh, I little girls turn the other way.
All across the plains of Mexico.
So we'll
Heave her up and away we'll go. Heave away, Santiano. Heave her up and away we'll go, all across the plains of Mexico.
But the reception that Stan Hugill got would be like any major pop artist, rock artist that you can imagine. And those kids going absolutely wild. Or Stan, and he's in his early 80s, and that sounds phenomenal.
Now, so that's 1986, and I've got a DVD that seems like it's a transfer from a VHS of 1987, the Liverpool Shanty Festival, I believe.
Right.
And it's you guys back in Stand Up.
Yeah.
And it seems like a pretty well-oiled machine already at this point.
Well, it got better. It didn't start as all well-oiled as that, because
Okay.
we all went. He'd say things like, "So you know Santiana?" We go, "Yeah, Santiana." We sing that.
Which one?
Exactly the point. Well, and it was worse than that because Stan would start, they singing that, we'd join in the chorus, and he'd go, no, it's across the plains of, it's not whatever we were singing.
Okay.
So we learned, no, it's this. And we went, that's fine, okay, you tell us as to what you want us to sing. But he didn't always sing the same thing every time.
I was also going to say, from the stories that I've heard of Stan, I wonder how many times he was pulling your legs on changing the lyrics out on
I
you.
heard the anecdote from another member of Stormalong that he'd said, where did you hear it was across the plains? Where did you hear that? I'm like, your book, Stan.
Yeah.
He changed stuff. Stan used to, towards the end, because at some of the festivals, he would do talks as well, which is great. If you know, he could draw freehand a map of the world.
Someone was just who was mentioning that? I forget.
I think Martin must have been.
Yeah, it might have been Martin. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Like
yeah,
while he was
Martin
speaking, he was just, yeah.
So doing fantastic. But he did a talk and with Bob Webb from the Maine Whaling Museum in Maine, Massachusetts, was there as well. And Stan did this talk on whaling with, I think he's Doctor actually, Bob Webb. I really lost touch with him. We recorded with him as well. But an excellent singer. But he was the curator of the Whaling Museum. And here's Stan, who, okay, well, whaling was not his thing, but nonetheless, he picked up so much that he could talk. But he was starting to make stuff up. And it was painfully obvious that what he was saying was absolute nonsense. But because it was Stan Hugill who was saying it, then that was okay.
It seemed kind of larger than life. He seemed like a very colorful character.
Hugely, yeah. So it was terrific doing stuff with him. So we made 2 albums with him, Sailing Days and Salty for Topman.
Okay.
One of which was in his hometown of Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
That we went down there to do it with him. Huge privilege. Massive education for us. So when we say we learned so much, because he used to say, don't sing it like a folk singer. You know, these were work songs. These were hard singers. You know, it's a hard. So we picked up our style from that, because I think we were probably quite fluid, and we'd sing in the folk clubs, and this is dead nice and jolly, and started, no, you should be singing like this. So we picked up our style from Stan.
Of course, the main stage here, named after Stan.
Yeah.
So Stormalong John must have connections to this festival.
Well, we were here for
well.
'97, the first one at Stan. So that was absolutely fantastic. We'd done a number of others with Douarnenez and Brest and Nantes. I remember Nantes particularly with Stan as well. So yeah, Stan will be getting invited places, and it'd be saying, and my backing group, please. So really
nice.
coming along.
Okay.
We did get gigs on our road as well, but whenever he needed somebody, we got booked as well.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Well, my old mother, she wrote to me.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
My dearest son, come home from sea.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Boy, pigs and posies.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Well, it's round that horn we all must go.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Chasing whales through the ice and snow.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Boy, pigs and posies.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Well, it's up aloft this yacht must go.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Mr. Maid has told us so.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Boy, pigs and posies.
Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Well, it's one more pull and that'll cacathra. Go down, your blood red roses. Go down, oh, your pigs and posies. Go down, your blood red roses. Go down.
Yeah, those are killer.
The yelp on the end is what Stan would call a hitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one.
That was
Beautiful.
great.
Wow.
Thank you.
I think that's the sound check starting up. So that's probably our time. But
Right. Okay.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us. It's obviously
Thank
it's
you
an honor
very
and a
much. It's
pleasure.
been great.
And thanks to you too
Thank
for
you.
reaching out. We're so thrilled to get your email.
Yeah. And hey, look, I mean, shout out for hooking this whole thing up, and also for your important historical collection that you've done of all of this. It's so important. I think that something that we pulled together, and we were kind of surprised to have people come up to us and start to thank us for doing these songs. We kind of realized, I guess we are very humbly continuing a tradition. And I think that-
And one of the great things, I mean, I really had to shout out when you give credit to Johnny Collins, who, I mean, we used to do some backing Johnny Collins as well, and I booked him for some of the folk clubs that I was at running as well. But quoting your sources, saying where you got it from.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, you will be aware of a group called Fisherman's Friends.
Yes.
They never do. Now, apart from me not liking what they do, and not liking all the success that they've had out of nowhere, thanks to a few people and really good luck, they never quote their sources as if it's all theirs. So it's just so important to say both the singers, the contemporary singers that you learn from, as we've talked about, but also the source singers like Stan. It's so important. So I'm really pleased that you do that.
Thank you, and it's an important part of passing on the tradition.
Yeah.
As much as folk music does have these elements of interpretation and reinterpretation as it's passed down from generation to generation,
Of course.
it's also important to balance that out with a real eye on where it came from and who it came from and why. So
Can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yes. So we, as I said, we're humbled to be a small part of continuing this tradition.
As
Thank you to you
are
for-
we.
And thank
As
you to you
were
for
we,
giving us
Stormalong,
this opportunity.
We
Really.
were just so damn lucky. We were just a bunch of floor singers who just got a chance to meet and sing with and record with Stan Hugill, to go to fantastic places like this.
To be the biggest shanty band in the world for a period of time. Pretty amazing.
To be honest, we were. Now that's because there weren't any others, or there were very few others at the time. But yeah, for a very short period of time, and then there's so many others actually came up, and I'm really pleased actually to hear what you're doing. You're doing great stuff with it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All away, a rolling king, heave away, all away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia.
Oh, South Australia's my native home.
Heave away, all away,
From there I never more shall roam.
we're bound for South Australia. All away, a rolling king, heave away, all away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia.
South Australia's my native land.
Heave away, all away,
So rich in lizards, flies and sand.
we're bound for South Australia. All away, a rolling king, heave away, all away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia.
Oh, South Australia's a bloomin' fine place.
Heave away, all away,
To get blind drunk is no disgrace.
we're bound for South Australia. All away, a rolling king, heave away, all away, all away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia.
Oh, I wish to God I'd never been born.
Heave away, all away,
As I go a rambling round Cape Horn.
we're bound for South Australia. All away, a rolling king, heave away, all away, all we're bound.